Since ChatGPT launched in November 2022, employees have found it very helpful to complete some simple everyday tasks. However, criminal hackers have also found some more insidious ways to use it, creating malware scripts as well as phishing emails. These criminals have also been leveraging the tools to extort people out of money and to steal their personal information. What should you be looking out for? I'll be discussing that today. Hello, I'm Michael Kinnett, CEO and founder of Eternal Networks, and every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I go live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and my personal LinkedIn pages to discuss the latest tech and cybersecurity news that might affect you and your business. At the end of our live session, I'll also be answering questions from the audience, so if you have any business, tech, or cybersecurity questions, get them ready. I'll cover them at the end. First, the news. And this may still be an ongoing issue. Yesterday, Microsoft OneDrive was down worldwide following some DDoS attack claims. Yesterday, the OneDrive website was taken offline for a portion of the day. The DDoS attacks were claimed to have been done by a criminal group known as Anonymous Sudan. I'll talk a little bit more about them in a minute. Microsoft was able to mitigate those yesterday, and then today those attacks have continued and have affected Microsoft's Azure portal. This attack, as I mentioned, has been done by Anonymous Sudan, or I should say they're claiming to have done it. They have made some online claims that they're behind the outages as a result of their DDoS attacks. They claim also to be targeting United States companies to protest the U.S. involvement in Sudanese internal affairs. However, some security experts currently believe that this group might actually be Russian threat actors that are trying to confuse investigators and also to defer any blame from Russia. All services with Microsoft have been restored. However, they attacked one yesterday, another one today. You never know, there could be more coming. So if you're having issue with Microsoft, any Microsoft sites over the next day or two, I would recommend you go to the Microsoft site. They have a website where you can look at the status of their services. Now for our topic for today. We saw this article on tech.co. I'll share a link to it in the chat. We'll make sure that we get that posted. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the information that was in the article. I talked about ChatGPT and AI scams to watch out for. And so I'm going to talk about those. I'm going to share some of those scams as well as some tips on how to avoid those. So first, before I get into what the scams are, I think it's important to talk about how common are these scams, right? I mean, AI is fairly new. ChatGPT was launched in November of last year. Since then, a lot of others of their competitors have launched similar tools. So how common are these attacks? The California DFPI has charted a rise in AI investment scams. And cybersecurity firms such as McAfee have observed a large uptick in AI voice cloning scams in recent months. ChatGPT's explosive release has also led to a wave of malicious domains being created. Much like ransomware as a service lowered the level of technical ability needed to attack a company, AI tools like ChatGPT pretty much mean that anyone can sound convincing. So in theory, a much larger demographic can now orchestrate cyber attacks effectively through this. And I'll talk a little bit about some of this stuff as we talk about some of the specific scams. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak has also warned that artificial intelligence will make scams much harder to spot and allow malicious actors to sound increasingly convincing. And we're seeing that today. So the era of AI-assisted scams, it's already here. So I'm gonna talk about 4 of these types of scams, as well as what you can do to protect yourself. The first one is AI-assisted phishing scams. We've talked about phishing scams on this live stream in the past. So no surprise, right? Phishing is a big deal, right? That's one of the primary ways that these threat actors gain access to information and to company data. Phishing scams have been around for years. Scammers send out an email or a text message acting like a fellow employee or a boss or a trusted vendor or a client, and they attempt to get you to click on a link that leads to a malicious site. And that site, the threat actor then can try to inject malware or ransomware or other things into your device to get your data, your information, or your company's data. And in the past, these phishing emails were much easier to spot because the email would be littered with spelling or grammar errors, or simply just not sound like your boss or your coworker or even somebody in the same country as you, right? Things would just sound odd. Well, ChatGPT can now generate clean, fluid content that does not contain any spelling mistakes or grammatical errors, which makes it a lot harder to distinguish between legitimate correspondence and phishing attacks. If you've used ChatGPT before and played around with it, right? Maybe you've already tried this, but if you go in and explicitly ask ChatGPT to create an email for the purpose of phishing, the chatbot will refuse to do so. You can't go and say, hey, ChatGPT, write me an email that I can use to phish this company or that company, right? It's going to say, no, can't do that. However, there's ways of tricking it. So you can ask ChatGPT to produce two different types of emails that could feasibly be used as a template for a phishing scam. And guess what? It seems that those are legitimate. They're not blocked under the current content rules. And it will spit out that content for you to then use to phish somebody. I don't recommend phishing somebody, by the way. But if you want to go and play around with that, you can go to ChatGPT's website and verify that. Hopefully, ChatGPT's founders will remedy that and will put some better controls in place. So what to do, right? Here's my tip. If you get a suspicious looking email from anybody, right, whether it's your bank, right? Maybe your bank sends you an email and says, hey, your account's been accessed by an unauthorized third party. Click here to verify, and to lock down and change your password or whatever. Don't do that. Don't trust any link in an email, no matter how good it looks. Simply contact the bank's customer service team yourself. Log into the bank's website directly. Don't click on any links. Don't do anything from that email. Find another method to contact that vendor, that person, whatever it is that seems to have emailed you or texted you, and speak with them and verify that the information is accurate that was sent from them. Don't trust what's in the email. Go directly to the source. I should say not the source of the phishing email, but go to the source of where the email is purported to be from. The next AI scam is AI voice cloning scams. A global McAfee survey recently found that 10% of respondents had already been personally targeted by an AI voice scam. A further 15% reported that they knew someone who had been targeted. That number surprised me a little bit. That was a little higher than I expected. 11% of US victims who lost money during an AI voice cloning scam were conned out of between $5,000 and $15,000. It's quite a bit of money to a lot of people. In AI voice scams, malicious actors will scrap audio data from a target's social media account and then run it through a text-to-speech app that can generate new content in the style of the original audio. These sorts of apps can be accessed online for free and have legitimate, non-nefarious uses. However, criminals have found ways of using it for their purposes. The scammer will create a voicemail or a voice note depicting their target in distress and in desperate need of money. This will then be sent out to their family members, hoping that they'll be unable to distinguish between the voice of their loved one and the AI-generated version of their loved one. So what should you do, right? If you're become a victim of one of these scams, what do? The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, advises customers to stay calm if they receive any correspondence purporting to be from a loved one in distress. That's the first step. Like, stay calm, don't panic, because when you panic, when you get emotions too involved, you make choices that you might regret later. So try ringing the phone number that they've received the phone call from to confirm that it is in fact real. And also, if you have a different phone number for that individual, try contacting that individual. Don't just assume that it's correct, right? Verify, through whatever means you can. All right, the next scam here is fraudulent ChatGPT app scams. A recent report from Sophos found a plethora of ChatGPT adjacent apps that they've dubbed fleeceware. Fleeceware apps provide a free program with limited functionality and then bombard users with an in-app advertisements until they sign up for an overpriced subscription. One fake ChatGPT app called Genie, which offered $7 a week or $70 a year subscriptions, made $1 million over a monthly period. Others have made tens of thousands of pounds or dollars in different countries. And so what to do, right? What to do if you think that maybe this applies to you? The simplest way to ensure you don't incur these sort of subscription fees or download unwanted malware apps in general, right, is to simply not download the apps. iPhone users can now download the official ChatGPT app, which is recently launched. It'll be intriguing to see whether this marks the demise of the fake ChatGPT apps currently populating the App Store. If you see an app and you think, oh, this looks awesome, it's purporting to be ChatGPT or maybe even some other vendor, look at the developer's name. Look at the name of them. Go to the website of the app or service that they're purporting to be from and find out if it's the same, right? ChatGPT is not going to have a different name for its company that's on its website than it is for its mobile apps, right? It's going to be the same name across all platforms. You can verify the developer of that app is actually who you think it is and not some third party. All right, the fourth scam is fake ChatGPT websites. In February 2023, Twitter user Alvasec identified 4 domains that were all distributing malware under a ChatGPT related name. His tweet read, "Beware of these #ChatGPT domains that distribute malware." It was chat-gpt-windows.com, chat-gpt-online-pc.com, chat-gpt-pc.online, and chat-gpt.run. Some reports have noted that fake ChatGPT websites have been presenting OpenAI's chatbot as a downloadable Windows application rather than an in-browser application, allowing them to load malware onto the devices. So what should you do, right, to protect yourself against this type of scam? Remember, ChatGPT is an OpenAI product, right? OpenAI, that's the company that makes it, that you can buy the service for it, the subscription if you're going to pay for the service versus their free one. The only way to access the chatbot is through their official mobile app, through their specific domain, which is chatgpt.com. You can't download ChatGPT like it's a software client. There's no like Microsoft Word version of ChatGPT. So you need one, just as with all these scams, right? You need to verify. You need to go to the source, who you trust, and verify that information is legitimate, not some third party impersonating or pretending to be. So as I said at the beginning, I'm going to link again to the article in the chat so you can read about other scams people are using ChatGPT to run. If you and your team need help being trained to recognize these scams or other security risks, please feel free to contact me and my team, as our training provides the latest in ways that you and your company can be targeted. Also, we have an upcoming webinar. Cyberattacks are becoming increasingly sophisticated, in part because of these type of tools that we were just chatting about. And the cyberattacks are also increasing in frequency, putting businesses of all sizes at risk. It's no longer, just the big boys that should be concerned with this. Everybody is a target. The consequences of a cyber attack can be devastating. But don't worry, there is a way out. Zero Trust is a cybersecurity approach that can stop hackers in their tracks. Through continuous authentication and validation of user identity, Zero Trust security eliminates implicit trust to ensure that only authorized users are gaining access to data, resources, and networks. So join our team and our special guest, Darrin Swan from Todyl. June 15th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, we'll be going live on our social media. You can save the date by following a link in the chat, in the comments, so you can add it to your calendar of choice. But we'll be going live on all of our social media platforms and our YouTube channel, sharing information about this. If you're in a position in the organization where you're concerned about cybersecurity, come and join us, because you're going to learn about this amazing tool and this amazing methodology for protecting your data, your networks, and your users. So hopefully you can join us then next week, June 15th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you. And if you have any questions, comments, you can always message me directly. You can add a question or comment in the comments of the video here, or you can also email or contact the team through the website at itnet.works. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week on our live webinar. Thank you.